Hi guys, it is October 10, 2019. Fires, snowstorms, a nor'easter. Oh man, here we go. San Diego, power outages.
Well, Marcella and Brandon, I just got off the phone with SDG&E. They did give me a bit of good news. We do have an update. There were 30,000 customers who potentially could have their power shut off, but that number has since decreased to about 18,000 customers. So SDG&E says weather conditions have improved a bit. However, tomorrow morning is still a concern.
All right, I just want to say something is very wrong here. It's almost as if wind has just arrived in California. So you have to have your power shut off. Now, if what they're saying, they have to shut off their power, these utility companies in California, because you have wind, because, well, it could down a power line. That means that they have been ripping you off. You pay an awful lot out in California for your utilities, and they're just stealing your money and not maintaining, upgrading the grid. So everyone should be outraged. And if they did do that maintenance, if they did upgrade, they wouldn't have to shut their power off. But we've had high winds all over the country, and we never had power shutoffs before. So, this is very new, and what the new normal is in our country. The new normal? Crazy. That's our new normal. All right, LA, you also had power. Deliberate blackouts in LA, San Diego, Northern California, and California utility faces gripes over deliberate blackouts. Gripes, even as the winds gusted dangerously. As forecast, California's biggest utility faced hostility and second-guessing Thursday for shutting off electricity to millions of people to prevent its equipment from sparking wildfires. Millions of people. Wow. Well, last night it was 800,000. But in the article that I was reading, it said could go up to 2 million. So, ordinary customers complained about the inconveniences caused by the unprecedented blackouts that began Wednesday, with many wondering, did PG&E go too far? And Gavin Newsom. Isn't it interesting how these guys come out and say things that you go, wow, okay, some truth there. All right. I'll get to that little bit of truth from Newsom. But we all know Newsom, Pelosi, who is that batshit crazy senator from San Francisco. They're all the puppets of Rothschild, who owns PG&E. Man, oh man, oh man. Well, did PG&E go too far? Could the utility have been more targeted in deciding whose electricity was to turn off? I can't believe we've even gotten to this stage where utility companies now are turning off people's power when you have wind. All right. PG&E, though, suggested it was already seeing the wisdom of its decision. Borne out as gusts topping 75 miles per hour raked the San Francisco Bay Area amid a bout of dry, windy weather. Did you have 75 mile per hour gusts? Because everybody that I've been hearing from, you guys in California, you did not experience any high winds. But those gusts, it was a gust. Oh, okay. Too bad we can't get through to our fellow Americans that yes, scalar technology they can use to bring about gusts of very high winds. And they've been using that technology. Well, now our weather has been taken over by man. Oh, I'm a crazy nut job, right? I'm so sick of those people. All right. We have had some preliminary reports of damage to our lines, so we'll have to repair those damages before we can safely energize the line. All right, you guys in that area where you had 75-mile-per-hour gusts and they downed power lines, well, you won't get your power back until they safely energize the line. There are so many obviouses that go over people's heads. And doesn't it make you crazy? Fire danger spread to Southern California on Thursday as raging winds moved down the state. Southern California Edison shut off electricity to 12,000 people just outside Los Angeles. But listen to this. A blaze ripped through a trailer park in Calimesa, a city 65 miles east of Los Angeles, destroying dozens of homes. Any of you hear about that? Because I didn't know about that until I read this article. The fire was started when trash being hauled caught fire and the driver dumped the load aside a road. What? Okay. Trash being hauled caught fire, spontaneous combustion, or hit with a laser, or maybe it's just bullshit. Oh, but you'll see that load dumped on the side of the road in 1 second. But winds gusting to 50 miles per hour carried embers into dry grass and quickly spread to tightly clustered mobile homes, leading to numerous medical emergencies. Outages can last 5 days. Okay. I'm telling you as a plain human being. Who talks like that? I'm telling you as a plain human being, there is no wind, there is no heat. We never saw something like this where they just decide to shut off the power, but on the other side, preventing is a good thing. But it's creating a lot of frustration. Preventing. How about the maintenance? How about shoring up their power line, the poles? Why didn't they do any of that? No, they're going to shut off your power. Faced with consumer anger, PG&E put up barricades around its San Francisco headquarters. Keep the public away. This is America. Now, corporations, CEOs, politicians, they've got barricades, they've got security guards, they have all the protection they need from the outraged public. But they're trying to strip away all of our protections. Great. A customer threw eggs at PG&E office in Oroville. PG&E truck was hit by a bullet, though authorities could not immediately say whether it was targeted. PG&E was to blame for poor management. Okay, this is what the governor said, Newsom. PG&E was to blame for poor management and should have been working on making its power system sturdier and more weatherproof. It's decisions that were not made that is leading to this moment in PG&E history. This is not, from my perspective, a climate change story, so much as it is a story of greed and mismanagement over the course of decades. Well, that is a bit of truth coming out of your crazy governor. You know, I and many people have said, why do Americans just bend over and take it? Why? Why do we continually allow government officials to tax us, raise the taxes, or put taxes on every friggin' thing that they can think of to make money? Utility companies continually raising rates while they do nothing at all to maintain their utility, to upgrade it. But you have to upgrade your home for climate change. Yeah. Well, they can do whatever they want to do to a demoralized people, a people who have no respect for themselves. President of the California Public Utilities Commission blasted PG&E's communication and said the situation was unacceptable. Experts say the big shut-off will yield important lessons for the next time. Aha. Yeah, this is going to continue, you guys in California, but it's all over. You know, and let me just say this about the comments from people who are still leaving comments. You know, if California burns or falls off and just floats out into the ocean, you know, they'd love it. I'm sick of those comments, man. I am so sick of it. And, you know, then I get these comments from people who say, well, Californians take it. You know, they just never do anything. First of all, California has more activists than any other state who are trying their best to fight all of these agendas. But it's almost as if I'm getting these comments from people who think nothing's happening in their state. This is happening all over. And, you know, smart cities are going up all over. Agenda 2030 is going on all over. So, how is it that people can claim that Californians are just letting all of these communists take over, when I can't find any other state that has so many people out on the streets screaming, trying, fighting, doing whatever they can? I don't get people. I don't get people. But then when you ask that person who makes that comment, what are you doing in your area? They'll probably say nothing or won't respond. You know, I sorry for the aside. Yeah, deliberate blackouts are likely to become less disruptive as PG&E gets experience managing them and rebuilds sections of the grid so that outages can be more targeted. The company and its employees have little experience with intentionally turning the electricity off in response to rapidly changing weather. That's a skill that has to be learned, and we're learning it on a mass scale right now. Ah, okay. So you got to suffer the consequences as they turn your power off because they've got to learn how to do it. Jesus. All right. You know, I back to Calimesa. Back to Calimesa. Sandalwood fire spreads to 500 acres, destroying homes.
Explain that in a moment, but look over here. There is the mobile home park we've had our eyes on all day. You heard Tim just talking about it from the air, from the ground here. We did see just a couple of minutes ago in that area where you're looking over there, we did see some more black smoke come up, but then it went down just as quickly. So don't know what that was, but there are still some issues in there. They're obviously dealing with this fire now at about 500 acres. I want to show something to you down the street here. As I said, we are on Sandalwood. You see where all these sheriff's deputies are over here. Just beyond where they are, there is some police tape surrounding where it appears the fire started. Let's show you some video we took a little earlier. According to CAL FIRE officials, it appears the fire started when a dump truck had something inside the dump truck catch on fire. What you're looking at there, the dump truck then dumped its load out in that area because it was on fire. It appears that sparked this blaze. Remember, the winds were...
I have never heard of a dump truck hauling trash, catching fire, and then the driver just dumps it, you know, on the road. All right, that's a huge metal container right there. And don't you think that, well, I don't know, let it burn out, haul it to, you know, a fire department, haul it to any place that you could have access to water. This just seems a little bizarre to me.
Really howling around that time, so it appears when the fire started there, it blew over into the brush area, eventually making its way into that mobile home park. At the time, many people were at work. We've talked to a few residents who lived there. We're not sure exactly the number of units in there. One resident told us they thought it was more than 100 units, but obviously a lot of people lived there. A lot of people were at work when this fire started. These folks came home hoping to get their pets. They had 3 pets inside. They luckily got a hold of an animal control officer. Animal control officer found one of their dogs. When you see this lady we're about to hear from, she's holding one of her dogs, but she's very concerned because another dog and a cat are still unaccounted for.
Jesus,
All I want is my animals. I don't care about the house.
Describe the other one, the dog.
He's a little minkin, about 10 pounds. He's 15 years old, and has a hard time seeing because he's got cataracts and he's got a lot of medical problems. So I don't think he would run out of the house if they knocked at the door like they said. So I'm just hoping.
And a lot of people probably have similar concerns. We're going to talk right now to Kathy Mattingly. She's with CAL FIRE just to try to get a quick update. What is the latest? What are things looking like right now? What do you expect in the next several hours?
Well, the fire still stands at 500 acres. It is 0% contained. Things are winding down a little bit, we're hoping. Obviously, it's still an active firefight. We have numerous structures that are impacted by this fire, and we still have winds going. So obviously, we're still in an active firefight.
And not just in this area. What's your warning to folks about those winds and the issues out there?
Right, remain prepared because we are hearing other fires start in other areas. Remain prepared. Please be prepared to evacuate if you are called to do so. And if we ask you to evacuate, please leave.
Thank you very much, and best of luck with the fight. So that's the latest here from the Sandalwood Fire. There's another live look at what's going on over there. Now reporting live.
all right, if anybody has updated information about this fire, I'd appreciate if you would leave the link below in the comment section. All right, you know, these fires, man. The animals, I can't. All right. So, according to this, 24 homes destroyed. All right. God, I do not want to be looking at that guy's face. This was posted at 8:36 p.m. tonight. Rapidly spreading wildfire destroys mobile homes. Well, that was sure a very quick fire that came about and destroyed. I mean, okay. It looks like entire structures gone. What are people going to do? What the hell are people going to do? There's so many people who have no money. All right. I will link below to this map. Look at this. All right. The start date, Plains Fire, today. And 20 acres burned, percent contained, we don't know. You can view the details. I'm not going to go through it. This was the Merrill Fire, city of Moranga, I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, started on the 10th, 95% contained, acres burned. I heard 60, but 40. Let's see, this fire, Bryceburg, started on the 6th. Jesus, Carol, brain work, please. On the 6th. Close to 5,000 acres and 25% contained. 5,000 acres. Okay. Another one that started on the 6th, Taboose Fire. And we don't know how many acres or percentage contained. This 90% contained, 289 acres, Crossfire, started on the 9th. Riverside, 500 acres, don't know how much is contained, started on the 10th. Started on the 10th. Eagle Fire, 25 acres burned, Riverside. 3 fires in Riverside. 3 that started on the 10th. And the Sandalwood Fire was the fire that took out those mobile homes. 3 fires in different areas, all starting on the 10th. And you also had the 10th, and then the 6th. I will link below to this site. I want to thank my subscriber for sending it along. It just seems a little odd to me that you had 3 starting in Riverside County. A nor'easter, Boston. Listen to this.
With the storm moving offshore, kicking up big waves for communities near the water. And that slow-moving system making for a rainy day with the wet weather to continue into tomorrow. CBSN Boston's Jim Smith is in Marshfield with more from there. Jim?
And Liam, as you can well imagine, the seawalls down here in Marshfield getting quite a bit of a workout this afternoon and tonight. But if you take a look at the sections here that have gaps, you can see these wooden structures. Obviously, keeping the Atlantic at bay is a top priority tonight.
The wind was howling and the waves were crashing as high tide approached in the Brent Rock section of Marshfield. This place has been battered in recent years. Flooding can be a big problem, but usually the storms come a bit later in the season. It's one of the first tests for recently rebuilt seawalls.
Well, you never know what Mother Nature's going to do, but so far, it's been quiet, but could be a long winter. We'll see. They just rebuilt the whole seawall. Hopefully it lasts.
Fortunately, the tides are not expected to be unusually high this time, but it's not just the ocean. Emergency crews are also concerned about high winds.
This is a long duration storm, and what we're really concerned about is with the high winds and the rain is trees coming down and power outages with lines coming down.
There is a certain fascination with the power and fury of the ocean in storms like this one, but authorities are hoping the locals practice common sense.
Put out some notices to people just to really be careful. Do not drive through puddles of water. Stay away from the ocean when the waves start to come over.
Back at Brant Rock, the sightseers kept coming, and suddenly the summer season seemed like a very long time ago.
We got to the beach and it's the biggest wave you ever seen.
How'd you like to be swimming right about now?
I'll pass.
Probably a good decision back here now in Marshfield. You can see some of these structures along the water are bordered up, and that's no accident. They're very close to the ocean, but this is a great place, obviously, during the summer. The next high tide about 2 hours away, and they're hoping for the best. In Marshfield, Jim Smith, CBSN, Boston.
Okay. Nor'easter, CBS Boston, nor'easter, lashes south shore. Okay, a nor'easter is like a snow blizzard. Not rain and not wind. But you know what is happening now? They're kind of just throwing anything out there, and it begins to, you doubt yourself. Yeah, all right. I'm from the north, nor'easters. I sure do know. So you guys in the north, is this a nor'easter? I swear. Okay. Here we go.
Calling it a potentially historic October winter storm. Up to 2 feet of snow. Dangerous driving already. Take a look. Multiple accidents tonight. A treacherous commute. That's I-25 in Colorado. And a 60-degree drop in just the last 24 hours in Denver. ABC's Clayton Sandell from Denver tonight.
The season's first winter blast tonight, causing a lot of slipping, sliding, swerving, and smashing. Snowy roads from Rapid City, South Dakota to Billings, Montana. Colorado commuters caught on Interstate 25 needed help from firefighters. Even their big trucks skidding on the icy pavement. The cold burst striking less than 3 weeks after the official end of summer. Temperatures in Denver nosedived overnight 50 degrees from a balmy 80 to 30.
At Denver's airport, more than 100 flights canceled, more than 700 delayed.
And David, blizzard warnings are now going up in the plains, and it's still very cold. It could fall to 15 degrees here tomorrow, and if that happens, it would be the largest two-day temperature drop in 6 years. David?
Whiplash in Denver and in the middle of the country tonight. Clayton, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos.
All right. So, a 60-degree drop. And people aren't questioning that. They're not questioning that. Snow in Denver is not unusual. Why now do we have so many accidents? Why is snow so slippery now? Well, because there's an awful lot of heavy metals and chemicals and who knows what else in that snow that is causing it to be exceedingly slippery. But nobody questions anything. Nothing begs questions. That's what is really very, well, frustrating. So, Spokane. Snow, wind, trees down. Lots of trees down. Whole lot of trees down. And, well, let's see.
Yeah, thanks, Jane. Crazy story, right? It was this tree that was right here that lost one of its limbs that came crashing down onto the man's car that was sitting right out front of his house right here. Such a crazy experience that he went through. This is the second time this has happened. The biggest question is, how can this happen again? Joey Costello woke up early Wednesday morning to what he says sounded like the outdoors falling apart around him.
It was just breaking. You just heard them coming down.
Later that day, he expected to find limbs fallen outside, maybe some minor damage to his home.
Oh.
But he got a much more severe surprise.
Looked out this window and I have a new Jeep Grand Cherokee that was sitting right here. This was all on top of it.
This is the second car that a storm has damaged. During the lightning storm back in July, lightning struck a tree in his yard and a limb fell on top of his car, totaling it. So yesterday, he found himself making another insurance call.
I'm a good driver. I never have any reports on my insurance, and now they've got 2 of these reports just in the last few months.
And to make the story even more bizarre, Joey has only lived in this home for 6 months. What are the chances?
But I was just shocked, utterly shocked when it happened again.
Okay, that's what I wanted you to hear. I'm utterly shocked. I'm shocked. It happened again. But is anyone looking at the trees? No, no one is looking at the trees. It's really pretty amazing because this tree has an awful lot of fungal disease on it. But we're going to just not pay attention to that. Okay, the trees are coming down so easily now because of all of the aerosol spraying, geoengineering, chemtrails, call it whatever you want, but they are dumping a whole lot of toxic chemicals and heavy metals that are making our trees very weak. Why? Because the aluminum in particular, it gets into the root system and the tree gets sick and it gets weak. So no one should be shocked when you go outside, you look at all the fungal disease on your trees. Do not be shocked if even a little bit of wind takes down that tree. And if you have fungal disease on your trees and they're close to your home, or they're close to, something that, a car or whatever, you might want to consider taking it down. All right, because this is getting long, I'm going to end with this. I will do a video, radar satellite, and show you what man is doing to create these storms. But when you see air masses that are literally going all over the place, it's really... All right, Abbaco. 2,500 Abbaco students still unaccounted for. This was the hurricane in Bahamas. So, the Prime Minister, Minnis, said it's likely some of these students are in other family islands or private schools. 2,500 students missing. They may be in private schools. And you can't account for them. You can't have private schools call you, or you call the private schools to... Far more died in the Bahamas than mainstream media is reporting. We're living a truly sick, crazy time, and it's so unbelievable what we are living. So more homes gone. More homes. More and more Americans are being destroyed every single day. Every day. So, if you still have your home, be really grateful. Be really grateful. All links are below.